We have huge updates on a new deadline to have stimulus checks approved. Let's discuss the details in this video. This is your weekend stimulus package updates. We'll also cover the unemployment extension and Trump's recent comments on voter fraud. Do you think Trump should approve stimulus checks now? Let me know in the comments below. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Andrew and thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Don't forget to subscribe for daily updates and don't forget to like this video if you like this content. Okay, we're going to discuss the details of a new deadline for stimulus in just 2 minutes. But first, we're going to cover what Trump said today. I always like to be unbiased on this channel. So first, I'm going to show you what CNN said, and then I'm going to show you what Fox News said as well. Let's take a look at Trump's Twitter. Today, he posted that Giuliani continues to fight for voter fraud and fight to overturn this election. Now, do you guys agree with this? Let me know in the comments below. In any case, I'm sure most of you saw Giuliani's press conference yesterday. I actually made a video yesterday where I showed the press conference and reacted in real time. Now, whether or not you agree with this voter fraud, I think it's fair to say that we need physical evidence to overturn this election and to validate Trump's claims. Now, Giuliani at the beginning of this press conference said he's going to provide physical proof, but all he provided was more witnesses testifying to the fact that they saw something that seemed to be voter fraud or things that were fraudulent, like they weren't close enough to be able to audit these ballots and things of that nature, which of course could be a valid issue, but is not physical proof. And Giuliani continued to say that he was going to show physical proof. Now let's take a look and see how CNN is reporting this today, and then we'll take a look and see what Fox News is saying as well. Okay, this article by CNN is titled "Fact-Checking McEnany's First White House Press Briefing Since Trump's Election Lost." Okay, so this is essentially the first press briefing they've had since Trump lost, obviously, and CNN continued to call out McEnany and fact-checking every single thing she said. Let's take a look. First, McEnany claimed that Trump was never given an orderly transition of power, essentially validating what Trump is doing now. She's essentially saying, hey, what Trump is doing to Biden is the same thing that Obama did to Trump. Now, CNN is fact-checking and saying this is false, unlike the current administration, where the General Services Administration is blocking Biden's transition team from access to government tools and resources. The Obama administration never denied Trump's victory and transitioned power to the incoming administration. Also, in 2016, Hillary Clinton conceded the race to Trump in the early morning, the day after the election. 2 days later, Biden met with then Vice President-elect Mike Pence, and Obama met with Trump just 3 days after the election. So CNN is pointing out the fact that this is not true. McEnany came back saying, well, what about the Russia investigation? Basically, Democrats were accusing Trump of working with Russia to rig the election. This is true. These were things that Democrats dragged on and allegations that they dragged on for years. But at the same time, they did not actually deny the quick transfer of power. Now, mail-in ballots. McEnany again spread the baseless idea that mail-in ballots are susceptible to widespread fraud and suggested that there are real questions over large-scale mail-in voter fraud. Guys, this is CNN's comments. Don't worry, I will get to Fox News soon. Just let me know so far, what do you think of CNN's comments? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. In any case, CNN went on to fact-check McEnany, and they said, election experts have told CNN time and time again that mail-in ballots are a safe form of voting and not subject to widespread fraud. There have been no reports from state election officials from either Democratic or Republican parties of widespread voter fraud from mail-in ballots. They went on to say that on November 12th, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency issued a statement calling this year's election the most secure in American history. And as you all know, Trump went on to fire a director from this organization, saying that his statements were highly inaccurate. And CNN is saying that these statements are not accurate because they have no physical evidence of voter fraud. Again, do you agree or disagree with CNN? Let me know in the comments. Now, as far as coronavirus fatalities, McEnany also claimed that the initial projections placed the number of potential deaths in the U.S. at 2 million, and touting that the Trump administration has kept fatalities far below the 2 million that could have been. Now, do you agree with McEnany or do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts. As far as CNN, of course, they disagreed and said that this was essentially a misleading comment. The point of this being is that experts said that the 2 million fatality projection was if we did nothing, if we didn't wear masks, if we didn't social distance, if we didn't stay home, if we didn't do anything, if we just lived our normal lives, 2 million Americans would have died. In any case, of course, 250,000 is a lot less and a lot better than 2 million, but Democrats argue that we could have done better with mask mandates, more social distancing, and more of an organized nationwide shutdown. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and whether or not you agree or disagree. Okay, let's take a look at what Fox News said regarding voter fraud, and then we'll take a look and talk about stimulus and the new updated deadline for stimulus checks. Fox News said, McEnany rips inexcusable 2016 transition and says that they will certify Biden when the time is right. Again, this headline itself is completely different from CNN's headline, right? McEnany rips Democrats for this 2016 inexcusable transition. Let's look back at CNN's headline. CNN said, fact-checking McEnany. Again, you could tell the tone of this article is going to be completely different. Long story short, they essentially reported all of McEnany's comments just like CNN, but without fact-checking her. So she said, McEnany said, she slams the 2016 transition process from Barack Obama and said it was inexcusable. She then went on to say that there are still questions that need to be answered about this election, and there is a Presidential Transition Act that determines exactly what Trump needs to do in advance of the election and in advance of the inauguration, and they've done everything that they need to do to this point. She also went on to say that Trump's presidency was never accepted, and they continued to hammer him on the Russia investigation. Now, Fox News did acknowledge that in 2017, during his inauguration on January 20th, Trump praised Obama for his help during the transition. He's quoted as saying, every 4 years, we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. And we are grateful to President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama for their gracious aid throughout this transition. That is what Trump said. He also went on to say, quote unquote, they have been magnificent. So at the very end of the article, Fox News did say that Trump praised Obama for his transition, but throughout the article, they basically pushed McEnany's message that Barack essentially did the same thing to him that Trump is now doing to Biden. Now, do you agree with Fox News' reporting on this, or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys, let's get into stimulus and a new updated deadline for stimulus checks. This article by CNBC is titled, Mnuchin says he and GOP leaders will discuss plan to pass targeted stimulus with Democrats' help. Essentially, Mnuchin wants to vote on a deal the week after Thanksgiving. Now, as you most likely know, Congress just left on vacation for the Thanksgiving holiday break, and they will not be back for about a week and a half. So that is the new deadline to get a stimulus approved. Now, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says that he will attempt to draft a targeted stimulus package with Democrats in the coming weeks. Mnuchin said that he will meet this Friday, which was today, with Senate Majority Leader McConnell and House Minority Leader McCarthy. These are both two top Republican officials involved in stimulus negotiations. Now, we are going to come up with a plan to sit down with Pelosi and Schumer and try to get a targeted bill done. This is what Mnuchin said. So Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said Friday that he and senior Republican lawmakers will attempt to draft a targeted stimulus package with Democrats in the coming weeks. Mnuchin explained that he and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows will later this Friday convene with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to come up with a plan for a more targeted relief package. So guys, this is great news. This shows that they are coming together to work on a package and are being strategic in order to get this done. Now, as we all know, the last few weeks focused on the election, and Trump is fully focused on trying to flip this election. But now at least lead congressmen are back to working on this deal. Mnuchin, who with Meadows has led President Trump's stimulus discussion for months, expressed some optimism that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer may be more open to a compromise now that the 2020 election is complete. He's quoted as saying, "I can tell you that we will be speaking with Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy today, and we are going to come up with a plan to sit down with Pelosi and Schumer and try to get a targeted bill done for the people that really need it. And hopefully the Democrats will work with us." Now, do you guys like Pelosi? Let me know in the comments below. It is said that she might be willing to compromise now that Trump has been said to lose the election. I know it's very terrible to say, but the stimulus package was tied in with politics, and it seems to be true. Pelosi did not want to approve a package before the election and fears that it would help Trump win. Now, Republicans continue to support passing these kinds of urgent and targeted stimulus packages as quickly as possible. The American workers should not lose their jobs needlessly when a second round of job-saving PPP for the hardest hit small businesses would make a huge difference. Now, they are referring to the fact that Republicans' targeted bill would include more PPP money for businesses in order to keep their employees on staff and not lay them off. They also want to supply funding to help distribute the vaccine, as well as potentially another $1,200 stimulus checks, $500 for dependents, and $300 per week for an unemployment boost. Okay, guys, this is huge news. At least we know we are back on track with negotiations, and we should have updates daily, so don't forget to subscribe for more updates. And what is our best case scenario? Well, this is what Pelosi has been hoping for. And regardless of whether you vote Democrat or Republican, specifically in this case for stimulus, if Democrats win the Senate, that will bode much, much better for a large stimulus package. Now, as you know, Democrats control the House, Republicans control the Senate, but there are still 2 seats up for election next month. I'm sorry, it's actually in January for the Senate. And if Democrats can pull off a win on both of those seats, they will take the majority in the Senate, and the odds of them being able to approve a larger package would increase tremendously, because at that point, Democrats would control the House, control the Senate, and control the White House. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Would you like that? Would you like Democrats to win and approve a $2 trillion stimulus? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, let's do a quick update on unemployment. Unemployment rates in most states dropped last month, but as the illness continues to spike, economists worry that could all be wiped out and we could be headed for a deeper recession and a larger unemployment once again. The economy is still fragile after the record downturn in the first half of the year, and another hit does not bode well for 2021. Now, October unemployment rates were lower in 37 states, but higher in 8 states, and 5 states were stable. Let's take a look at the hardest hit states. The worst unemployment rate is in Hawaii, which is 14.3%, and the second worst unemployment rate is Nevada, which is 12%. Now, of course, these states' economies depend greatly on travel and vacation, and obviously that has not been happening to a large extent this year. So that is why these states have been the hardest hit. And just to put it in perspective, in March and April, when we hit the nationwide high of unemployment, we were at about 15%. As you can see, Hawaii is still almost there, and so is Nevada. California is at 9%, New Mexico 8%, Arizona 8%, and New York 9%. Now, this is a great reminder as to why we need another unemployment boost approved soon. And if you are unemployed, guys, I truly hope that help does come soon, because we have more news that 12 million Americans might lose their unemployment benefits after Christmas. So as you all know, the CARES Act provided unemployment for a lot more people that usually would not qualify. 2 main programs were one that provided unemployment for those who were self-employed freelance workers, or gig workers. Now, there is estimated 7 million people on this program, and after Christmas, that will expire. So if you're an Uber driver, a Grubhub driver, a self-employed person who was getting unemployment, that is ending in about a month. This is why we need another boost approved quickly. Now, of course, there was also another program which extended unemployment 13 additional weeks. Most states provide you 26 weeks of unemployment, and the CARES Act provided an additional 13 weeks. Now, that is ending after Christmas, which would leave another 5 million people dropped from their compensation and dropped from their benefits, guys. If you're on unemployment, guys, I really, really hope that our government helps you soon and approves these programs. Guys, we will have updates daily, so don't forget to subscribe for daily updates. And if you made it this far into my video, thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really means the world to me, and I really do appreciate every single view. My thoughts truly do go out to each and every one of you during this hardship. I've had so many comments from people who truly deserve the help. And if you're watching this video, you're probably going through a difficult season in your life. Just know that you will get through this and you will be in a better place. Stay strong out there and keep taking steps towards a better tomorrow. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.